Okay, so the IRSs have aligned, and what we'll do now, we'll start the setup procedure for the aircraft, including the loading of our flight plan. Today we're flying a short flight. It's approximately 4 hours long, and we're going to Larnaca, which is in Cyprus. So we're going to be, like I say, we are using the Gift Hub mod, which is excellent for this aircraft. So I'm just going to adjust the brightness on the lower contrast a minute to make that a bit more realistic. Okay, so as we're looking, obviously the first thing we need to do is let the program know, or the aircraft know, where we actually are. So it's asking for the airport. We are at Heathrow. We are at stand 543. And we're facing 269 degrees, slight variation there. That tells us our IRS position, and we're just going to locate that. Next, we need to select our route. See, nothing's filled in at the moment, but we have a route request. So if we press this, it gives us the option to load from SimBrief. And that then preloads into SimBrief. You can also see that it tells us our payload weight and our block fuel weight, which will enter those very shortly. So while it's just activating the route, okay, so it's now imported. We'll check the heavy settings and we'll go to Payload Manager. So here, fuel on board. We have a block fuel of 38,746. And we have a payload of 23,617. And these figures are given to us by the SimBrief. So that's where also we've programmed our flight on the SimBrief. We're going to execute that, and that will adjust the fuel and the weight of the aircraft, which means we then adjust our trim settings. Okay, so I'm just adjusting the trim to about 7.3, so we can execute that. Oh, as I executed it, it's redoing it again. I should have gone for page back. I do apologize. Reserves. Let's go for 6,000 kilograms of reserve fuel. That's excellent. We will go to thrust limiter and just check. We know the outside air temperature for thrust limiter today. We're going to go for 58 degrees. We are going to be selecting takeoff 1 and 2's armed. And we go to our takeoff settings. Our flaps are going to be at 10 degrees. We're assuming runway 27 right. We're not sure yet, but we'll check that very shortly. And our V reference is going to be 137, 152, and 161. Our pre-flight is now complete. We'll have a quick look, see if check on VATSIM. At the moment, so we're saying 27 right, so we know we've got a Detling departure. So we're now going to check our flight pan here for departing and arrivals. Departure is going to be runway 27 right, which is selected, and a Detling to Foxtrot departure. route. We're going to activate the route and then execute it. The route is now locked into the flight computer. Okay, so what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be starting our APU. We turn it to the on position and then we turn it to start. We'll be checking for the start on the systems stats, and we can see that the APU is actually the RPMs are coming up. The APU is now running, and with the APU now running we can disconnect the external, we'll turn on first of all the generators and then we can disconnect the external powers. The aircraft is now in a position where we can do our next phase, which is the startup and pushback.